This week's Playwright tip: something playwrights call development hell. And when I say development hell, I don't mean lobbying for money for the NEA at the RNC. That's just masochism. Development hell. The thing that all playwrights dread. Development hell is essentially when a play gets stuck in development. Not production gets stalled because of, hurricanes or things like that. But when a play keeps getting chosen for readings after readings after readings at the various theaters, and it's always something in progress, it's always something that has potential, but it never really gets a full production. Development hell essentially means that a play is stuck getting readings and readings, but never really getting a full production. Even if they try to self-produce, it just gets stuck in development hell and doesn't go anywhere. A lot of playwrights, unfortunately, get into this hole, and a lot of playwrights have good plays that get stuck in development hell because they didn't see the right producer at the right time, and every time they get a reading, they get this feedback that say it's good but not quite there yet. And meanwhile, 10 years pass and it's still not there yet, and you're just thinking, oh, I've been working on this play for 10 years. It should have gotten there somehow. Unfortunately, this is the industry we work in, and it's not a meritocracy, unfortunately. Just because you've had a play for a long time doesn't mean it's ready for production, which is really depressing for me right now. I'll get to that later. I think the bigger question is, how do you get out of development hell? You're getting reading after reading after reading after reading, chosen by, different theaters to get these readings and read as a finalist for different theaters and things like that. And you're like, okay, how do I get this to the next level? 2 words. Well, a long word with a slash in the middle of it. Self-produce. Now, I know self-producing is a daunting task. Maybe you don't have the money, maybe you don't have the resources, but odds are you have someone that does. In a previous video, I talked about fundraising, and the best way to get money for your self-production: find an old person who's very bored of their life. That's how you raise money. Believe it or not, it's actually worked for a number of producers out there. I think as long as the show gets some kind of production, any kind of production outside of a reading, get a production where they don't have script in hand, you can get your play out of development hell. Sure, it could get into more readings and whatnot. Beyond that, it's fine. But, you know what? Just to see your work up and present it to an audience outside of a reading context, that makes a play better than people hearing the text over and over and over again. Seeing it done will help you get it out of development hell. I bring this up this week because, well, I'm trying to give myself a little delusions of grandeur and hope. Upcoming is a reading of a play I wrote this past year called The Alice of Ward 13. And now, previous to this reading, it has never been read by, well, anyone outside of this competition. I didn't do a reading with friends like I usually do. I didn't, send it to my dramaturg and English friends who usually look it over to fix things. I've already caught about a dozen grammatical errors, and yet somehow it made the finals of the New Jersey Playwrights contest. Whatever. I mean, it's Jersey, we're not exactly #1 in English, let's face it. Now, this play is going up against 2 other plays. Basically, there are 3 readings. Each of them have a feedback session after them, and one of these plays is going to be chosen for full production in the spring at William Paterson University, which is awesome. I am here on the William Paterson University campus for what seems to be the only rehearsal of my show getting read. No pressure. We've had some trouble this past week. Rehearsals were tricky to schedule. I was in the King and I, so I couldn't make the first rehearsal, but the first rehearsal happened so late because everything got delayed because of Hurricane Sandy. So the schedule got wonky. I don't know what's going to come of this contest. I hope to win. I really do, I'm not holding my breath. I just hope the audience gives me a good reaction. When we have the discussion, it's not going to be like my grad program where I sit down and they give me feedback for half an hour while I don't say anything. It's a discussion. It's a back and forth, so it's going to be a little awkward for me. I'm going to film it and put the least awkward segments on here. I mean, if the show isn't picked for production, it has some great stuff in it. I've been told it has some great stuff in it. Maybe they're just feeding me ego. I don't know. I'm the kind of playwright that works more off of negative stuff than positive stuff. But, hopefully if it doesn't get, production, it can get into Fringe, which will cost more money, or I can get it up somewhere, because it's a fun show. It is. It's an interesting show. And hopefully it doesn't get stuck in development hell. That's the big hope. I'm kind of running out of money, so I really can't afford to get stuck in development hell. So, till next week, when the reading will happen, see you, interwebs. No pressure.